What are 3 tips that will instantly make you more attractive?
This is so easy. This applies to like everyone.
When do you think it gets to a certain point of like being so critical to yourself where it's like, all right, chill out?
What's the secret to getting girls?
This is such a good question. Secret to getting girls is number 1.
Why are people attracted to Duke Dennis and not me?
Duke Dennis is a prime example of.
I got options. I want you, I want her.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Brocode podcast episode. I'm Gavin,
I'm Cole.
and today we are here with none other, the one and only Dillon Latham.
What's up, guys?
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about how to look better, how to become more attractive. We're going to be giving you guys some advice. Well, Dillon's going to be giving you guys some advice. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
For those of you who don't know Dillon or haven't seen him before, he gives content on overall self-improvement, how to smell better, how to look better, how to dress better, all that good stuff.
Thank you guys for having me on. This is really exciting.
Of course.
Of course.
So
with every episode, we always like to start off with a fun little game to kind of break the ice a little bit and just loosen up a little bit. So today's game,
we thought this would be perfect for you.
we thought I don't think this could have fit better for a guest. But today's game is called Chopped or Not.
Ooh, okay.
So how it's going to work is we're going to name drop somebody, and you're going to say, are they chopped or are they not?
Okay, wait, before we get into that, I'll just preface by saying I'll do the game 100%, but if I say someone's chopped, I'm not calling them ugly, but I do think I'll base it on like if I think they could easily like do stuff, like just low-hanging fruit to look better.
Yeah, so chopped is basically going to mean that it's not bad at all.
They could
but there's room
easily
for
look better.
improvement.
They could easily
Yes.
look better, and I'll tell them how.
Yes. Okay,
You can start it off, Gavin.
so the first person we're going to start off with, Gibson.
Gibson actually is 100% not chopped. Gibson's really good looking, symmetrical face. He has something called a high hyoid bone, which is this thing that determines whether or not you have a double chin. He pretty much has 0 double chin. That's
What
a
about
genetic
me?
thing.
I
I would say
definitely
us
do.
3 have average hyoids. Mine's actually kind of bad. Because I'm really lean, but I still like struggle with tissue under here. But yeah, Gibson not chopped. Only thing he could do, honestly, I would say is like get a style, like a good style going. Yeah.
Yeah, that was some solid advice. I agree.
That's pretty far.
I
Okay,
agree.
next up, Gavin Magnus.
Gavin, I also think Gavin's definitely not chopped. It's not a question. It's nearly impossible to be successful in this industry if you're don't take care of yourself the right way. Gavin does. I think Gavin, the best thing is I like the LA-esque of like how you come off. It's really important to take into account vibe on top of looks and everything.
Mhm.
Gavin has especially a very, very good eye area. He has light blue eyes, which is actually one of the most desired eye colors in the world. He has dark, thick eyebrows, which is another, that's like a Model-esque trait. Gavin looks really good. I think the one thing Gavin could do to make a massive difference, 2 things. One, actually the first one is really up to opinion. Your haircut right now is good. If you grew it out, you would be attracting, quote unquote, a different demographic. So that's up to you. The second thing, hit the gym. If you got like jacked and lean, bro, you'd be, I mean, you're already unstoppable. You have like models in your DMs. You'd be even more unstoppable.
How do I do
So-
that? What's the key to the gym?
Bro,
I know
Di-
abs are made in
okay.
the kitchen.
diet, this isn't just for abs. Bro, people overrate abs so much. There are models, there are really attractive people out there who don't have abs. You don't need abs. What you need, though, is to be lean enough to have your face definition show. And the best way to do that is by fixing up your diet and focusing on macronutrients and calories. It's that simple. So, like, literally just eat meat, fruit, vegetables. Like, that's all you got to do. That's literally it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Okay, so our next person is Cookie King.
Bro, you're giving me like insanely attractive people. Cookie King is another example, I'm being serious, of someone
wait,
who
hold on. Why'd you laugh?
It's just
After
the
you
way
said
the way
that.
you said you're giving me insanely attractive people.
Yeah,
Like, that is
because
true.
you are.
I mean,
and,
it's
and
true,
I'll
yeah.
explain why. And I'm not being biased because I'll tell you if you're chopped. Cookie King is, I have this thing I like to call, you can see through somebody in their appearance. Cookie King just had like a little bit. He was like a little overweight. That was his only thing. He has an insane facial structure.
Yeah, he does.
Insane eyes. He's tall. Like, bro, Cookie King is just not chopped. The only thing he needs to do is lock in on physical health. That's why everybody talks about Cookie King needing to lock in.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next up, we got Alabama Barker.
Alabama Barker, I mean, the thing with girls is it's such a different world. I would say, okay, to guys, realistically, most guys I feel like would say, I'm not saying this is me, but they would say she's chopped. Not that she's ugly, but she does, quote unquote, too much with makeup and stuff. Guys don't typically like that.
Yeah.
But you could still call her attractive because she has an appeal towards women, specifically young women who like are into that stuff. So it's kind of like she doesn't have appeal to the opposite gender, I would say.
Great point. Our next person is Vex Bolts.
Vex Bolts. I think Vex Bolts Vex Bolts is a character. I would say he's about average, I would say. He's tall. I think the most important thing is that I wouldn't say he's like locked in. He's not like physically. So I'll leave that there.
Okay.
All right. And lastly, but not least, we have Prime Dillon.
Prime Dillon is overrated. I think I'm more locked in now than I was back then. I was just like young. I guess people like little kids for some reason because now I'm older. But
yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm not gonna lie. Like whenever I see like the Prime Dillon edits, it's always just like you with no stubble.
yeah,
It's literally just like you with
I just
no
started
stubble.
growing facial hair, got a little older. I mean, bro, to be real, I don't even claim to be this insanely attractive person, but once you get to a certain point of like taking care of yourself, it borderline doesn't matter. It's just most people aren't at that point, and once you get there, it's achievable. So
I agree.
yeah,
I agree. Should we segue now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this kind of leads us into our next topic. You know, I would consider myself like a relatively attractive person. Same with you, and I think everyone has the potential. But I know you are very good at giving advice, and you're very knowledgeable about these things in, the overall how to look better, this and that. So my question to you is, what are 3 tips that will instantly make you more attractive?
this is so easy. This applies to like everyone. Whiten your teeth. It's extremely easy. Crest whitening strips. This is not sponsored. Crest whitening strips are one of the easiest ways. There are better ways, but that's one. 2, curling your eyelashes. Guys are afraid to do this. They probably have never heard about it. If a guy curls his eyelashes, any girl, any person, it will make your eyes stand out a lot more. 3 is fix your posture. This might not be a good example because we're kind of hunched over microphones. There is no such thing as good posture, but there is such thing as good looking posture, which would mean standing up straight. The more you put your head up, the better your jawline looks. So if you're on camera and you're aware of that, it'll make you look better. Those are 3 things you can easily do.
Solid advice.
Does my jawline look better now?
Wait.
Does it look better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Don't
bro.
forget
It
mouth
does.
posture too. This is a side note. Stick your tongue at the roof of your mouth whenever it's closed, and it takes this thing I mentioned before, your hyoid, sucks it upward, giving you a better jawline.
Oh,
I see.
Wait.
That's what mewing is, right?
Yeah.
So
That's crazy. What? I did not know that.
You didn't?
No.
That's- That's interesting.
What would you, if I was to ask you for 3 tips for me?
For you?
Yeah. What would you say?
I want to start by saying you have very good genetics, very good hair genetics, very good eye genetics, symmetrical face. You have amazing genetics.
Thank you,
But
bro.
the answer is simple. Lock in the gym, so get really fit, shredded to the bone. I better see abs. All right? That will happen with time. That's like the easy part because it's literally just numbers, calories in and out. 2, I would say maybe I like your hair. I like your style. Maybe I would say get a definitive style that makes you stand out more because your style is not bad by any means, but you don't have, I would say it's not necessarily unique like Gavin's. Gavin just comes off as like an internet personality when he's walking around. 3, I would say try contacts. Contacts, because glasses don't look bad, especially on you. They actually look pretty good. But contacts definitely can make you look a little more attractive.
Yeah, I've noticed whenever I wear my contacts, I feel a little better about myself.
Yeah.
Like
You got that, like,
Yeah.
swagger.
Yeah, I've actually ran out recently. I gotta hit the eye doctor soon.
Yeah. I was. I think that's what I would say too for you. It's just like your contacts.
You think I look better? Yeah.
I think you look way
I
better
probably
without
do.
glasses.
That's what my mom actually told me. You know, I'm a handsome boy, but like a lot of girls would ask me if I like curl my eyelashes, like how you said. But I think it's just because I have curly hair,
Bro,
like my lashes
Yeah,
like curl up.
girls have asked me that before. They'd be like, "Do you curl your eyelashes?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No." Like, you have
Yeah.
really nice eyelashes. I'm like, "Thank
They'll say
you."
that. So I feel like, and my mom told me like when my glasses are off, like my eyes pop more. So it's like
Bro,
making
that
those.
I don't think you understand. You have the eye area of like a full blown like model. Like you don't understand. And I always see that when I walk in the street, I see people and I'm like, bro, this dude's potential is crazy. First thing when I saw you, I was like, bro, this dude doesn't understand like how blessed he is. The first thing I thought.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually feel like so much better about myself now. That's crazy.
That's
Good
Yeah,
crazy.
bro.
Got me feeling. Dude, I got butterflies. You know, give me. Chill out, bro. Anyways, moving forward, what's a secret tip to make you more attractive that nobody knows?
There's so many. But if I were to give you one, so oftentimes people struggle with being pale, light skin, and they just wish they were a little bit tanner. And the sun has UV rays which damage your skin unlike anything else. It destroys the collagen and ages you very quickly. So to get very tan, you can use this thing called melanotan. A lot of people don't know about it. It's something you can ingest. I believe you snort it up your nose. It's not harmful from my knowledge, but you do that. You go out in the sun, you tan a little bit, and it will give you a crazy tan that lasts an extremely long time and leave long-term like tanning effects.
Have
So,
you ever used it?
I haven't. I don't. I'm like pretty dark complected.
Mm-hmm.
If you're pale, there people in the industry know what I'm talking about. But the average person has no idea what that is.
So I have like another question for you.
Yeah.
Why are people attracted to Duke Dennis and not me?
Duke Dennis is a prime example of, I don't want to say it like this, but like it's not all about looks. If you objectively look at his face, he's not some outstanding looking guy. Like he doesn't look bad by any means. I would say he's slightly above average, which is fine. But he has extreme charisma. When you walk somewhere, like you can tell his style
Wait.
is good.
So he's got W Riz.
He has W Riz. He has status. Looks are one thing. Status is a whole different game. Status and money outweigh looks by a long shot. And like bro, when people sense that on you, I mean like that's something that you can control more so than your looks to a certain point. Duke Dennis has basically taken everything in his control and controlled it in the best way possible.
I've never looked at it from that perspective, but that's a really, really, really good perspective.
Thank you.
Because it's like, yeah, that is true. I guess like there are certain things that you can like, status and things like that you can manage more than maybe even how you look.
It's like a threshold where once you look a certain amount of good, you'll reach your genetic potential at some point, and once you're there, then you got the other stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I have a question for you. When do you think is like for somebody else, when do you think it gets to a certain point of like being so critical to yourself where it's like, all right, chill out?
There's this thing called the BP, which I can't even say, but it's an internet term where it's basically like your genetics determine everything. If you look bad, if you're under this certain height, you're cooked, it's over. When you start thinking your life outcomes are based on certain ways that you look to a point where you have no control, I think taking control out of your hands is where it gets out of hand, because you do have control, and the majority of people look way better than they think. They're just not doing the right things to get there, and that's why I give tips, because it takes a little bit of effort to make a life-changing difference.
Yeah.
How long have you actually been doing like tips on your platforms?
I started out doing like thirst trap TikToks, got banned at like 400,000 followers, and then
year
right then and there,
Oh, what year was that? Did you start at?
2022 or something like that, or 2021. I'm not sure exactly, but got banned, and instantly at that time I was going through the roughest point in my life, like a breakup, all this, and then I realized the one thing that made me feel so good about myself was like self-improvement. And I was like, bro, if other guys could experience what I did, that would be amazing. So I was like documenting / giving tips at the same time as trying to help myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like 3-4 years.
Okay, so then it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah.
That's fire. And then didn't you actually start? You started a cosmetics company, right?
Yeah, my brand is called Simpletics. I started out with one brand, and it's a long story, but I ended up having to restart, which was like so hard. But about a year ago, I started Simpletics, which is all natural hair products. If you know Yuka, the third party health testing app that tests ingredients, both products that I have out are 100 out of 100 on the health score. Pretty much any hair product you use is going to be like less than 50 out of 100, meaning bad for you. And for some reason, people just like these big brands get away with unhealthy ingredients. So Simpletics is just avoiding those. And we're one of the top on Amazon. So like our salt spray is Amazon's choice when you look it up.
And it's so crazy. And like, I think we've had this conversation before, but I definitely wanted to have it on camera too a little bit. But I've known, like, I remember I was at a friend's house, like, I want to say like a year and a half ago. And he was visiting LA, and he was like, he just gotten out of the shower and he was doing his hair, and he was like, oh, have you seen like my salt spray? And I was like, what's that? And he was like, oh, it like does this and this and that to your hair. And I remember I still had hair at the time, because obviously, you know, we got this going on. But I had like long hair at the time, and like kind of like that sort of fringe, like,
Fluffy
you know,
hair.
yeah, like the fluffier hair. And he was like, try it. It was my first time ever trying it, and it was your brand. It was Simpletics.
That's so sick.
And so I was like, let me try this out. So I sprayed it, and it instantly like worked. It works really quickly.
Thank
And it's
you.
crazy how like it really does like shape your hair and like hold it and everything like that. But it's just so crazy because for such a long time, I had seen that brand and seen other creators and like friends people that I personally knew using it, and I literally didn't know it was yours until I literally met you. I didn't know that.
That's so sick. That's the goal, is to like, I want to be associated, but not like, I feel like that being the face isn't necessary anymore. And if you want to sell a business, which I think is the end goal,
Like the Mr. Beast method.
yeah, the Mr. Beast method is unpatched.
It's unpatched,
It's
for
unpatched.
sure.
Okay.
But moving on from that, how did you? So what? I'm kind of curious to this because I want to know, and I feel like maybe the viewers don't necessarily know this, and they might want to know this about you. What got you into social media in general, in a whole? Like, what was you said in 2021 you were going through a rough part in your life, and that's when you kind of started and everything. So, like, tell me a little bit about that period in your life, things you were going through, and what led to you starting an online persona.
I saw my friend named Stefan, who was like an OG TikToker, like back in the when Charlie D'Amelio was blowing up, and he just went viral, and I was like, wait, that just looks like it's not that hard. So then, one day I was at my friend's house, and I was like, let's just make a viral video. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's just try it. So we made a video, got like 300,000 views, gained like 10K followers, and I just posted every day because I was like, I never even realized you can make money from it. Like, I did because people on YouTube always talk about, oh, I didn't know you could make money from social media. And then so I knew, like, in my head, like, eventually I could make money, but I just thought it was so sick. And I guess I loved the idea of, like, a lot of people knowing who I was at the time. So yeah, I just posted every day. It was getting views, like 100K views a video, something like that, and just running it up.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on my For You page so much to the point where, like, every day I see you now. It was literally you, and I told you this too. So you and Cookie King, who you're also good friends with, your guys' like niche humor and the things like the little community that you've built, which is like so awesome and cool that I think, and I've told you this before, but I think it's so awesome and cool that like you've been able to build something that's so personable, almost, and personal to like your audience. But I was telling you how, like, your memes that you push and like the content you make and the funny things you say and like your lingo, it's like that stuff has been a part of like our friend group's humor for so long now. So it was such a full circle thing when like we actually connected. You know what I'm saying?
Real, yeah.
So.
I think, honestly, Cookie King for getting me into this, because I won't lie, he's the reason I started spam posting. And I think it's like, with social media, you have to like adapt and adapt over and over and over.
Yeah.
For some reason, people aren't on this yet. I don't know why. Like spamming like crazy like we do. But now when I go out and see people, they know me more for my spam account than even like my main or like anything like that.
No,
Because
yeah.
they feel like they're a part of it. And also they kind of are because, I mean, you guys saw whenever I see someone, I'm like, yo, can you record this video?
Yeah.
Like first time I see a girl, we met a girl at the beach. It was like a group of 4 girls. First thing I said to her, I go up and I'm like, hey, can you record this? And I literally start like emoting on her, like doing a dance, like just trolling
You
completely.
took your pants off, bro.
Yeah,
You
I
dropped
did.
your
But I had
trousers.
just
He had shorts on. For context,
Just
he
so you
had a
understand,
bathing suit under
I had a
his
bathing
sweatpants.
suit on, and I was planning to take off my sweatpants at the beach anyway. But I literally, I'm like, hey, can you film this? Do this. I'm just in my thing, and then, bro, it made me realize like being yourself is like the play, no matter who you
Mhm.
are. And like I ended up going on a date with this girl, really cool. Just because I was like messing around and trolling. Like, don't take stuff too seriously.
I think that's
That's how I
another. I think
feel.
that's a piece of advice that's super valuable too, and I think I've applied that to life in a whole. But I think with girls and like for anyone watching this, whether you're trying to go after a girl or a guy, I think one of the best pieces of advice is don't take it so seriously, and being yourself is such an important thing in those situations. Like how you said, you just walked up and you're like, "Can you film this?" Blah blah blah. You just completely gave her an immediate representation of like who you are, and you didn't have to try to be this or be that.
Yeah,
It's like it was super easy.
If you think about it, when we're kids, you don't have these thoughts. Like if you're a little kid and you see an old lady with a big nose, you're like, hey, she has a big nose. You'll say it to her face. If you bring out your inner kid, people like that because in reality, we don't want to feel constricted by maturity. And that's how we feel most of the time is like
Yeah.
the older you get, the more you're like, oh, this is a boundary that's here. Nah, this isn't a boundary. Take my phone, record me taking off my pants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And people, like, they see through it. And that's the same thing with like the people who watch me. First thing I do when followers recognize me in public, this happened last night.
Mm-hmm.
Guy in the
The
Greek
frozen
yogurt place, whatever. He's like, can I get a picture? I was like, yeah, but only if you take this video with me. And then I just like messed with him, like had fun. It was chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think authenticity, being yourself, is like something that's being lost in social media, and hopefully I can try to bring it back in my way
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you, like, so you're a guy that gives a lot of advice on social media. Do you almost feel like it's kind of your responsibility to, like, if you have your boys and stuff and you clearly can see things they can do to, like, looks max per se, do you feel like it's almost like your obligation to tell them, like, be like, give them some advice?
100%. When I was looking at Gibson, I'm like, yo, Gibson, you should get earrings. Because if he got earrings, it would make him stand out more. I'm not saying it's going to look insanely good or anything. but,
Yeah.
like, same thing with you. First thing we did,
Yeah.
talked. I was like, yo, bro, let's lock in. He's been locked in. I'll tell you that right now. He's
Bro.
been locked in. He's on the diet soda method. He's on the health method. They know.
Yeah,
They
bro.
know.
Nah, Dylan's
First-
actually getting me locked in the past, like, I started probably, like, I would say probably, like, 3 days, but we've only been hanging out for, like, 4 days. So, like, the past 3 days, I've been trying to lock in, and, like, down the road, I hope to be shredded to
Bro,
the
you're
bone.
going to be locked in.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Nah,
I
it's
already see
coming,
it.
coming soon. 2025 is my year. But I think it's time for Respect the Code,
Or catch the smoke.
where we take your sticky situation and determine whether you respected the code.
Or you need to catch the smoke. It's pretty simple. You understand?
A little bit. I'll get it. I'll get it.
So the show's called Brocode, and we're gonna take a situation, we're gonna read it, and then determine from there if that person respected the code.
If they
Or they should-
followed
or they
bro
should-
code, or if they broke the code,
Okay,
and they need
got
to
it.
be
And they need
catching
to catch some
smoke.
smoke.
Understood.
Okay. So the story reads, it goes, me and my boy pulled up to this party, and he's had one goal. Shoot a shot with the girl he's been into for months. He's been hyping her up, planning out what to say, and of course, he needs me to be his wingman. Cool, I got him. That's the code. So we slid over, and I started doing my job. Hyping him up, keeping the combo flowing, making sure he was looking like a walking W, and at first, it's going great. She's laughing, she's vibing, but then I noticed something. She's laughing a little harder at my jokes. She's asking me more questions. She's making eye contact with me, not him. I try to shift the focus back to him, but it's obvious she's just more into me than him. And I'm just standing there like, bruh, what do I do? We ended up both going back empty-handed, but I kind of want to pursue her. What should I do? Do I tell my boy the truth? Like, yo, I think she's into me, not you, which is guaranteed to, like, make things awkward. Or do I go for it? Technically, she's the one making the choice, right? The whole time I'm just thinking if roles were reversed, what would I expect from him? So now I got to ask, what's the move?
What do you think, Dylan?
What do you think?
You can start off first here. All right, well, this is a juicy packed story. All right.
If the guy who the girl liked more, if he asked his boy and was like, yo, can I go for this girl? And if he said he doesn't care, but like genuinely, and you got it out of him, like you got the genuine truth, then go for it. But if you ask him and he's like, yeah, it's fine, but you can tell he's like really upset and sad,
On edge about it.
just don't do it. Like, bro,
Yeah.
there's a million fish in the sea. Billions, actually. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Nah.
actually
But
a really good.
But I don't go fishing.
That's the thing. You might have to start for your boy.
That's actually a really good take. I was gonna say something very similar. Yeah, if you can be mature about it and ask your boy if he's like, yeah, I can feel that she doesn't like me either. Then like, you know, you can pursue that. But if he's like kind of sideways about it, if he might be tight about it, don't. It's not worth it. If that's your good friend, if that's your actual dog, it's not worth it. Don't sacrifice the friendship. There's a million fish. There's billions of fish in the sea.
It's a sticky situation because it depends on how close you are with the friend. And it also depends on how that friend feels about the situation. Like Dillon said, if he's genuinely, you know, not too fazed by the idea of you going for her and you guys being a thing, then it could be a go. But then again, there's also so many different complexions and things that could be messy in the situation. So
Literally just base it off the way he answers the question.
yeah, I think that's really what you have to do.
He's probably going to say, yeah, it's fine. And then if he says it in a bad tone, then don't do it. Simple.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go down the line and vote. Gavin, you can start off.
I'm not gonna lie. If I was you, I would just respect the code, bro. I would just respect the code.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not worth losing your boy over. I would just respect the code.
But if she's like really bad, like 10 out of 10, by all means, do you. But yeah, no, I think you should respect the code.
Respect the code. 100%.
Yeah. All right, so final verdict. Respect the code, bro.
Respect the code.
Don't risk it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
But Dylan, have you ever had like a situation where you've been like involved in Brocode or like you've been playing the lines of like the Brocode rules or like you almost broke them or not broke them?
100%, bro. I was with Cookie King at Rolling
Oh.
Loud, and there's these two girls. And the thing is, it was going well. Everything was going so well until we walked into these group of TikTok guys, bro. Me, Cookie, the two girls were vibing. Everything was good. Then the girl Cookie was with starts talking nonstop to these TikTok guys, and they were like flirting with her. And I was like, yo, let's go to the bathroom. My girl at the time, not my girl, but the girl I was with, I guess, was like avoiding the convo. I respected it so much. Like, she wouldn't even talk to these TikTok guys because they're like attractive guys. Like, she didn't want me to feel like some type of way. So she's like just standing behind me, which I was like, bro, perfect. But then the girl Cookie was with, bro, just she was folding for the TikTok guys. So I'm like, yo, Cookie, let's get out of here. We go. I'm like, dude, we need to get out of here. We go. And then Cookie's like upset. He's like, I sold my bag, but I want you to have a good night. So I'm going to start jester maxing. That's
Wait,
What
what
does
does
that
that
mean?
mean?
jester maxing is making a clown of yourself in front of girls. And he started talking about like Minecraft and video games and like all this stuff to make sure that it was lighthearted and that me and the girl I was with could still have a good time. So he locked in for me, even though it kind of ended poorly for him.
It's fire. It sounds like he respected the code.
He did.
Yeah.
Wow. W
Solid.
friendship. W mans.
Locked
W
in.
man, bro.
W mans.
W mans.
All right, W mans. And I've heard you say you have W fans.
I do. I have the most attractive fans on the internet, and I'm like not even joking. When people come up to me, I can just tell when somebody's done my tips. They have like white teeth, good eyebrows, good hair. They usually use my salt spray. Every single time. Like, I have the most W fans. Every time I see them, they look the same. They all look good.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
That-
very true. When you guys be coming up to me, I'm like, I be seeing it too. They be taking your tips.
Yeah.
Because he actually gives good advice. And for our fans watching this right now, make sure to comment your situation down below, and we'll let you know in the next episode if you respected the code.
Or if you need to catch the smoke. So Dylan, we actually asked your fans what they want to know about you, and they sent in a lot of good questions. So we're gonna ask you real quick. All
All
right.
right, let's do it.
All right. One of the number one things people were asking, they constantly got this over and over again. What is a free alternative to making your hair fluffy?
Well, there's a few things. If your mom has a flattening iron, you can use heat to curl your hair up in the front, and it makes it go from like full on straight to wavy, but it does fry your hair, like literally fry your hair. Or number 2 is get your hair kind of damp, put on like a backwards hat and like push your hair back, let it dry, and when it comes out, it might actually be like fluffed up in the front. And then also you got a blow dryer. So none of those are technically free, but chances are you have some of that stuff at your house.
Okay, Dylan, your fans want to know, what's the secret to getting girls?
This is such a good question. Bro, secret to getting girls is number 1, I'm not going to lie to you and say like looks don't matter, but when you take care of yourself and you maximize your potential, that's the first step. Like that's the one thing that's like, it's not that hard, just do it. Like just eat healthy, do all that stuff, right? Okay? But the second thing, it really comes down to personality. You don't have to be insanely attractive to get girls, and I hate when people are like, "Oh, he looks like this and that's why he gets girls." Bro, no. Like you have to just not be serious most of the time, and you also have to act in accordance to the girl that you want. If you want a girl who wants a relationship, you act a certain way. If you want a girl who's trying to hang out with you, you act a different way.
That makes sense. I think
Wait,
you.
the
I think
secret. Let me answer this thing really quick. The secret overall, in my opinion, is being funny. And people are like, "Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
funny." Hey, my friend Haven says that he's not funny. That's something that you can train. Just like anything else. So be funny.
I agree, but I also think being funny is something when you're over analyzing it and when you're trying to be funny or you keep telling yourself I'm not funny. I think you kind of subconsciously like opt that part of your brain out. So like I think if you just like literally be yourself, because you're lying to everyone and yourself if you're saying that like you don't make people laugh or like you can't make people laugh, because everyone in this room has the ability to do it, and we've all probably done it at some point. It's like, I think when you tell yourself something, you kind of set that mental barrier.
I think the biggest issue when people make jokes, realistically, you're actually taking a risk, because if you make a joke and you don't laugh, it's negative aura, bro. You can't. So like you are taking a risk, but you have to really, honestly, I think it's a game of like intelligence. Like if you're really smart, you know when to time the jokes at the right time. That's why I say it's something you can train. Like comedians don't start out being as funny as they are. So like I don't know. I just think it's something you can train, and I think the secret, which is the question you asked me, to getting girls, is being funny.
True.
That's a good, yeah.
And that's also facts, because like, look at Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
He's literally
That's
the best
good.
example.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
But also
True.
like Pete Davidson like is rich, tall, and like successful. So like that.
Yeah, but like everyone
plays a
else that
role.
he like.
Wasn't he dating Ariana Grande when he like lived with his mom though in her
Yeah.
basement?
I guess the question is like about, yeah, I think personality can overtake looks, and for some reason people in the BP or like the looks maxing community don't think that. It's not true. Your personality can overweigh looks easily.
100.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
For
Next
sure.
question.
Next question. What's the most attractive hairstyle for men?
It's going to depend on your hair type. For straight hair, if you have a good face for it, buzz cut, I would say. Wavy hair, as of right now, I would say it's like the fluffy hair sort of vibe, whatever case may be, like just some sort of fluffy hair. Curly hair, kind of like what you have. And then for coily hair, probably dreads. I would say dreads.
Maximum aura.
Dreads, I mean, bro, there's a reason that it's a whole meme that there's a quote-unquote nonchalant dreadhead.
Yeah.
Duke Dennis, like all that. You know what I'm saying?
Duke. This fan's just glazing. What do you do for your eyes? You're so beautiful, bro.
A tip for your eyes, like I said, you can curl your eyelashes. I don't curl my eyelashes, but I definitely would if on a rare occasion if I want to look really good. You can apply castor oil to your eyelashes and eyebrows to make them look darker, thicker, and fuller. So
Have you used castor oil?
I have. I don't do it currently because I kind of just have dark, thick eyebrows, but that's something you can do.
Are you fulfilled in life?
I'm fulfilled for now. Honestly, yeah. I just like my whole life goal is like helping other people. So, yeah, simple question.
Good answer.
That's fire, bro.
Solution for a big nose.
Okay, you can't change the size of your nose. Well, actually, you can.
Surgery.
If you have acne and all that sort of stuff, if you take Accutane, it will shrink your nose. I'm not saying you should take Accutane. But
Really?
that's a common thing. Yeah, because it decreases inflammation in the nose. So for people who have big noses, sometimes they can be inflamed, and that's why they're big. So by taking Accutane, it shrinks it. It's a common symptom of taking Accutane for many people. But other than that, it's about maxing out your other features. And then also, I mean, plastic surgery, but I don't recommend that. Yeah. I
Would
don't
you ever
recommend
get
that.
plastic surgery?
At some point, I feel like I would, but I wouldn't encourage it. And the reason I would is because it's like an investment. But I'd be honest about it. Like if you're in this industry, there's a reason all the actors do it. It's not popular to agree with it. I'm not saying I do, and I don't recommend it. But at the same time, if I'm in this industry like for a long time and I want to preserve my career to an extent, I probably would.
Yeah, and I had I feel like I don't know. It was someone of you guys that we had this conversation like a few days ago, and I was like, it makes sense like dudes who get like Botox a little bit in their face like in certain spots because it's like, you know, if like you're in like your 30s, I see like once you hit like 40, it's like that's when you cut it off. But it's like, you know, you could drag the 30s a little bit, you know, get a little Botox, you know, look a little, just a little. But like, if you're doing it past the age of like 40, then maybe that's like, all right, bro, let it go. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't think there's anything.
I
wrong
feel
with it.
you, but if you look at like actors, like look at Brad Pitt. I don't know if you can pop a picture up on the screen. He like reversed aged himself like 10, 20 years with like some stuff that he did. So like it's kind of insane. But
True.
Have you seen that guy who's like trying to live till for,
Brian
like, how long
Johnson?
as he can?
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
The dude who does like, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's good because I mean the one thing that we have is our conscious experience in life, and he's trying to make it last longer. People hate on him. I don't get the hate, honestly.
I don't understand.
You're
that.
never gonna get a negative outcome for the most part listening to something that he says.
Yeah. I also think what he's doing is like revolutionary and really cool, and I feel like it's cool to like watch that unfold and like see how it's
What if
gonna
he
play
does
out.
live to like over 100?
Yeah. Like what if
Fountain of
genuinely?
youth, bro. People have been looking for a way to do it. Do I think he's gonna be the one to figure out how to stop aging? Probably not, but he might take a step closer.
Yeah. Definitely pioneering the way for sure.
Well, speaking of those things, we still have more questions. What's the best hair product for each hair type?
For straight hair, it's texture powder. For wavy hair, it's sea salt spray. For curly hair, it's hair mousse. And for coily hair, I would say some sort of like hair oils.
Like Cantu cream?
Cantu type stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Why do girls want Duke Dennis and not me?
Girls want Duke Dennis because he has insane aura. Simple answer.
Next question is, why does it hurt when I work out?
Bro, working out, it just hurts, bro. Like, if it hurts too bad, you might just not want to do it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my take on that.
That makes sense, bro. Okay, and then that takes us to our last segment. We're gonna play a fun interactive game. It's called Kiss, Marry, Kill.
Are these people all over 18?
Yes, they are.
All right, let's get
In
it.
fact, they are. Okay. So our first lineup, okay, we have Bad Baby, we have Alabama Barker, and we have Santa Cruz.
I'm going to marry Santa Cruz because he's going to keep me locked in, kissing Bad Baby and killing Alabama Barker.
That was
the king has spoke.
that was really good. That was good.
Next line.
Sophie Rain, Cookie King, and Kylie Jenner.
I'm going to marry Cookie King. I'm going to kiss Kylie Jenner, and I'm going to kill the first one.
Sophie Rain, really?
100%.
Okay. Kiss, Marry, Kill. Ash Trevino, Tara Yummy, Brecky Hill.
I'm going to kill Ash Trevino, kiss Brecky Hill, and marry Tara Yummy. Nothing against Brecky Hill, but yeah.
Well, I mean, nothing against Ash Trevino. You said you would kill
Oh no,
her.
extreme against Ash Trevino.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
am
extremely
too.
against that.
I am too. Okay. Well, those were some very, very, very solid answers, Dylan.
Thank you,
Yeah, very base takes.
thank you, bro.
Solid.
Very simpletic.
Very
Sympletic.
sympletic takes.
Is there anything you want to tell the viewers? Anything you want to let them know? Something cool coming out? You want to shout your brand out, shout
Maybe
whatever
teach them how
out.
to do hunter eyes.
Cool coming out. I'm gonna drop. I only have products for straight and wavy hair. I'm gonna drop products for all hair types, and then also get into like products that everyone can use. Long form YouTube, we're locking in. Streaming, we're locking in, and potentially moving to LA with the best people I've met in a very long time.
And guys, Prime Dillon is still loading, so chill.
I'll be back soon. Don't worry about that.
But thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Brocode Podcast. Dillon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
As always, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And thank you so much to the people who are listening on the go, on Spotify and Apple Music. We appreciate and love all of you. Peace.
Peace.